Yeah, my name is Darren O'Donnell and I'm the Artistic Director of Mammalian Diving Reflex, and we produced Faith Exchange, which I prefer to call it Faith Market. For a while it was even called God Market in our minds, but Faith Exchange is what the title of the work was that we did for Kafka 2011. Mammalian Diving Reflex is the name of the company. It's a metaphor, or it's a real thing. It's a reflex that happens in mammals when we're submerged quickly into water or into a cold environment. The metabolism slows right down to preserve the air that we have in the body as long as it will last. Also, if you're in water, the vocal cords will snap shut over the trachea to keep the oxygen air in the lungs. And it's a metaphor for sort of surviving during difficult times, and in particular, surviving in a way that your body does the survival, where you don't kind of have to worry about it. It does it itself. So we kind of make work that is sometimes beyond description, you can describe it, but it's why are we doing it? There's sort of confusion, and often there's lots of information. We deal with information and an abundance of information sometimes, or abundance of experience is what we're trying to trigger your body just to handle yourself through difficult times. We file the kind of work we do is called sort of variously relational aesthetics or social practice. I call it social acupuncture. So I'm trying to sort of create events that bring people together in unusual ways, people who wouldn't ordinarily be together, doing things they wouldn't ordinarily do, often flipping hierarchies, often casting a light on a hierarchy and showing it in different ways. We work often with children, putting them in situations that they wouldn't ordinarily be in, where they're empowered, or we do a performance of empowerment, not always empowering them, but sort of acting like we're empowering them, so that people start to think differently about kids is one thing, or each other's faith. In this instance, bringing faiths together. We had hoped that there would be some public that came to this, but the public didn't come for some odd reason. So it's just us and the different faith groups. But that actually worked nicely, because what happened was the faith groups talked to each other as opposed to sitting and tabling while the public walked past. I think if the public was here, they wouldn't have spoken to each other, and this sort of turned out to be kind of a conference that was actually kind of nice. I had a really good time, and it looked like the people did, and everybody seemed to stay focused, and that was nice.
Appoint a writer and move on.
There's more and more respect coming for work that years ago would have been called community arts. Now community arts is you have Thomas Hirschhorn, major artists doing Francis Elise. There's lots of major artists, interesting artists who are doing really interesting work, way better work than I do, who are engaging community. And I think community arts has made it into the mainstream and is the way it will be, and I think that's a good thing. My favorite place is in Parkdale in Toronto. That's where we do the most important work, because that's where we know people the most, and we've been there for many, many years, and that is sort of our laboratory for stuff that we test there, and then we take on the road to many other places in the world. But Parkdale, Toronto is an amazing place. There's rich people there, there's gentrifying artists there, there's lots of immigrants there, lots of kids there, so lots of good businesses there, so it is a really good place for testing all of the things we have to test.